The 23-24 season is finally upon us, starting today with Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton in the Championship. But what I want to know is, what does Football Manager think the predictions for the new season is going to be? So I've gone ahead and gone onto FM Scout and downloaded a database for the 23-24 season, which includes transfers, managerial changes, and the promotion and relegation up until near the end of July. This includes all of the teams showing on screen right now, which have been either promoted or relegated to the respective leagues. So the only thing to do now is to jump ahead straight into the game, and let's have a look at what the predictions are for the season preview before we simulate the season. So, getting straight into it, in the Premier League, it's instantly predicted the 3 teams who got promoted last season are going straight back down in the order they got promoted as well. So, Burnley are going to finish 18th, and obviously they finished first in the Championship last season. I've seen a few real-life predictions, and Sheffield United and Luton I've both seen down there. Burnley I've been seeing much higher. It's always Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth I've been seeing in other people's predictions to finish 18th. So Football Manager just doesn't have much faith in the promoted teams, I guess. Man City to win. Okay. Obviously, remember this has the new transfers, so like De Gea's not at United anymore. Zaha's not at Palace anymore. So these small changes could be drastically different to a normal simulation for the 22-23 season. Let's go have a look at the Championship now, see what they're rating them. So, Leicester going straight back up, Southampton are going straight back up, Leeds into the playoffs. It's also expecting Sheffield Wednesday to survive. Plymouth and Ipswich don't survive though, which is interesting. Rotherham go down. But yeah, what it's seeming like it's doing is it's taking the teams from the league above and just saying they're going to do well, and taking the teams who came from below and saying they're going to struggle. So I'm guessing this is just going to be a trend. So it's basically following the trend again. Reading and Blackpool both gone straight back up, and Wigan have finished 4th like the prediction said at the beginning of the season. What about near the bottom? Cheltenham didn't get promoted. Carlisle did. Northampton did. Leyton Orient did. Okay, it's pretty much predicting that most of the teams will either get promoted straight away or get relegated again. They're expecting high things from Salford though. And Wrexham. Wrexham automatic promotion according to Football Manager. MK Dons, they got relegated. Morecambe got relegated. The other thing I should point out, which I should have said at the beginning, is that because the game's already had to relegate teams, and now you've relegated more teams, there's a lot more relegated and a lot more promoted teams than there should be. For some reason, Forest Green Rovers weren't relegated, but they were relegated. Where's Accrington? Okay, so this is the first case where we've seen a relegated team supposedly struggle. That's interesting. So, wait, out of interest, where's Notts County 10th? So they're expecting the National League teams to do a pretty decent job this season, I guess. Down in the National League, Hartlepool and Rochdale are going to have to fight out for a playoff spot, seemingly. And down at the bottom, Oxford and Kidderminster are going to go straight back down. But Flyde and Ebbsfleet are going to do quite well, apparently. Okay, so it seems like the higher the league, the more you're going to struggle after you've been promoted, but the lower down seems a lot better. So now all there is to do is to jump ahead 1 year, and let's have a look at what the final positions look like. Right, and this is the final Premier League table. And if you remember me saying earlier, I said I've seen a bunch of predictions, and it's always been Luton and Sheffield that go down, and Nottingham Forest or Bournemouth. And look at that table. It's pretty much what I said. Luton and Sheffield gone down, Nottingham and Forest have gone down, and Bournemouth were in the battle. But Burnley's done okay. Obviously, they predicted City would win, which they did. Liverpool 2nd and Arsenal 3rd. Pretty spot on. Oh no, sorry, they predicted Arsenal 4th. So Arsenal did better. Chelsea did better. United did worse. Villa did better. Tottenham did spot on. Who did? Newcastle obviously did a lot worse. So they're predicting Newcastle are going to have a massive drop-off this season. Bear in mind as well, this database hasn't updated, obviously, the European competitions. The top 2 teams in the coefficient ratings will be getting an extra spot, and England usually fall inside that top 2. Let's just say United got Champions League, and then I think it's Villa and Spurs would get Europa League, and then Everton would have the Conference League. Oh, so they're expecting Everton to bounce back and start doing well. I didn't even notice that. I could see this being an actual Premier League table. I feel like they've done Newcastle a bit dirty, but time will tell. Right, now let's go have a look at the Championship. Well, instantly we can see Leeds, who were meant to only make the playoff spots, only made the playoff spots and lost to Norwich, who were also predicted to make the playoff spots. Okay, so they did a good job at predicting the top 4, because that is spot on. They predicted that exact same spot 4. They didn't predict QPR and Stoke, though, to do that well. QPR was supposed to be in a relegation battle, and Stoke were meant to be a mid-table team. None of the promoted teams went down. They finished 19th, 20th, and 21st, so they all just stayed up. So you take away the bottom 3, they are the bottom 3. Oh, I guess we just need to go ahead to League 1 now then. Is Reading going to win it? Instantly see there, Reading have won it. Derby have beaten Bristol Rovers in the playoff final. Derby were predicted to finish 3rd, but Bristol were only supposed to finish 15th. So they've done well. Okay, they've pretty much done it again. Reading, Blackpool and Derby all in the right spots. Charlton have done well. They were meant to finish 10th. Barnsley were massively dropped off. Meant to finish 5th, finished 16th. So let's have a look at the relegation positions now. Cheltenham were meant to go down. Carlisle were meant to go down, and they did go down. Northampton stayed up, and Leyton Orient were meant to go down. So Lincoln City, who were meant to finish 14th, and Exeter, who were meant to finish 18th, both went down instead. I mean, they're doing very well, but it might just be that the database is still saying these teams, even though they got the right signings for real life, the teams might just be too dominant still. And that might be the biggest issue here. So let's just have a look down to League 2 now, where if MK Dons have won it, the Football Manager got a good streak going on with their pre-season predictions. And they didn't. They didn't even get promoted. Okay, so they were meant to finish 1st and they got 9th. Salford only got playoffs. Wrexham 11th. Okay, so League 2, they haven't done as well predicting. They said Gillingham 12th, Grimsby 14th, and Doncaster 11th. Morecambe were meant to finish 4th. Sutton were meant to finish 21st. God, League 2's all over the place. Salford were meant to be up here, but obviously they had them down as an automatic promotion spot. Even the 2 relegated teams, actually, looking at this, Harrogate and Barrow, were both meant to be like bottom half sides, but not quite relegation. Oh, yes. So they're going down to... So they're going down to the National League. We're going to go have a look at the National League, but I'm not going to go any further than that. York were meant to be mid-table sides and they've won the league. So York City and Halifax were both meant to be mid-table sides and both got promoted. So the 2 relegated teams from League 2 were Hartlepool, who finished 5th, so they lost out on the playoffs then. But it seems like a very hard league. So yeah, anyway, Hartlepool 5th, and then Rochdale 3rd. So the 2 relegated teams are meant to be up there, but not quite making it. Oxford and Kidderminster both went down. And then Ebbsfleet and Flyde both managed to stay up quite comfortably, actually. Okay, so the only thing now to do is look at the Community Shield. Community Shield is in 2 days, Arsenal versus City. And it looks like Arsenal are going to be getting revenge for losing out on the title. Even though it's technically Arsenal's fault for bottling the league. But Arsenal are going to win the Community Shield. Let's have a look. Right, straight up to the Carabao Cup next. So, Liverpool are going to win it this season, beating Arsenal. Oh, okay, so Arsenal won the Community Shield and finalists in the Carabao Cup. So it seems that Arsenal's season's going to be an okay season. And what about the FA Cup? So Liverpool get the domestic cup double. Villa, though, made the final. That's quite decent for them. Right, let's go start with the Conference League. So, no English team in the final this year. Villarreal beating Real Betis. Let's have a look where the English teams got. Oh, that's a shame. Round of 16. They got past the group stage at least. Did they have to go through this stage? No, they managed to skip a stage, so I'm guessing in the group stages they finished first in their group. Yeah, there we go. Right, let's hop up to the Europa League now, where Ajax have beat Roma. So Brighton, Liverpool and West Ham all made the Europa League this year. West Ham making it through as the winners of the Conference League. And as they all finished first in their group, they get to skip the knockout round and go straight to the round of 16. Oh, okay, this isn't what I was expecting. So, Arsenal and Newcastle, we've already had spoilers for the Champions League, I guess. They must have both got knocked out in the group stage. They must have finished third and got moved into the Europa League. So before we had 3 teams, we ended up with 5, but now we've only got 3 teams going through to the next round anyway. Arsenal, Liverpool and West Ham. But we know because of Ajax, one of them's not going to win. Here we go. So they reached the semi-final. So this is where they lose. Arsenal and Liverpool play Ajax and Roma and they both lose each. Is an English team going to win the Champions League this year though? No. Oh, City are going to make another final, but Bayern are going to take it from them. Let's start with having a look at how bad Arsenal and Newcastle. So Arsenal only lost out on head-to-head record, I guess, isn't it? It's not goal difference in the Champions League. I'm pretty sure it's head-to-head. United struggled to get through a bit there. City got past with ease. Newcastle... Oh, God, Newcastle are really going to struggle. Right, so we've only got 2 teams left now. United go out instantly. And then we know, obviously, City are going to go all the way. But City still have one more competition that we need to check on. So let's check the Super Cup. And we can instantly see there they won. 2-1. Okay, so City have won 2 things. Liverpool have won 2 things. And Arsenal have won 1. So I guess that's the predictions for this season. So the only other thing we can check in this game is the Club World Cup. But there seems to be an issue because Man City didn't seem to be in it, even though they won the Champions League. I don't know why this has happened. So that was Football Manager 2023's predictions for the 23-24 season. Do you think any of these are going to be accurate? If so, let me know in the comments if you think they're right or what you think is going to be different. And I'll see you next time. Bye.